Servus. Here again is your Garten-Staudinger from Munich, and today we're talking about a topic that can either save you a lot of joy in spring, or give you plenty of it. These 11 woody plants need to be pruned now in September, otherwise spring simply won't deliver. Because yes, even in September the pruning shears come out, but this time with a bit of finesse. Attention! Bird protection regulations still apply until September 30th. That means radical clear cuts are off the table. But small fine cuts, shaping cuts, and removing spent flowers, that's still allowed, and it's even important. Think of September like your haircut appointment right before Oktoberfest. Not a completely new hairstyle, but sharpening the contours so you don't look like a mop in the festival tent photos. And that's exactly what we're doing with your garden today. So grab your pruning shears, put on your gloves, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Roses, the drama queens. The rose is and always will be the diva of the garden. She loves the stage, she loves the spotlight, and she absolutely hates being ignored. In September, she wants to show you once more what she's capable of. But she'll only do that if you invite her. The invitation is simple. Consistently cut off the spent blooms and do it just above the 5-leaflet leaf. Why exactly there? Because that's where the energy sits that motivates your rose to produce new blooms. If you cut too high, you'll only get weak side shoots that barely flower. If you cut too low, the rose needs far too long to regain its strength. But if you do it right, you'll get a second show, often well into October. And that's the big difference. While many other plants are already in autumn mode, your rose can give you another real explosion of flowers. And if you want to know exactly how to prune roses after flowering, make sure to watch my video, Pruning Roses After Blooming, a guide that guarantees success. In that one, I show you step by step how to do it perfectly. But be careful. No radical pruning now. Roses don't tolerate that at this time of year. That belongs in spring. In autumn, they're gathering their last reserves and preparing for the cold season. And by the way, if your rose starts producing rose hips, that's not a sign of stubbornness. It's her survival strategy. For birds, rose hips are a valuable food source. For you, however, it means no repeat bloom. So decide for yourself, more flowers or more rose hips. Raspberries, cleaning up the berry chaos. Raspberries are the typical chaos child of the garden. If you just let them do their thing, you'll soon have a completely tangled jungle. And that's exactly the problem. In overly dense growth, moisture builds up. Diseases like grey mold or cane blight have an easy time, and harvesting becomes a struggle. So in September it's time to create order. And according to a clear principle. With summer raspberries, you cut all canes that fruited this year down near the ground. Yes, really all of them. They only fruit once and are useless afterwards. Autumn raspberries are different. Here you leave the fruiting canes standing, because they'll still produce berries in September and October, but remove thin, weak shoots that wouldn't produce a good harvest anyway. That way the plant gets more air and light and the energy focuses on the strong canes. A small tip. Remove the cut material immediately. Old cut canes are like a hotel for pests. Shred them, compost them, or dispose of them, but don't leave them lying around. Blackberries. The wild teenagers. Blackberries behave like a teenager in puberty. They grow in all directions, steal space in your garden, and spread wherever they can. And if you don't discipline them, they'll turn your bed into an impenetrable thorn jungle. So now it's time for discipline. Everything that carried fruit this year gets cut off close to the ground. No exceptions, old canes won't fruit again. Instead, the plant relies on young, fresh shoots. Those are the ones you neatly tie to a wire or trellis now. That way next year you'll have a clean structure and can harvest without getting tangled in thorns. If you just let the blackberry do whatever it wants, you'll still get berries, but they'll be small, sour, and hard to reach. If you bring order into it, you'll get big sweet fruits and a trellis that looks like a neat highway of berries. Grapevines, let the sun reach the grapes. The grapevine is the gourmet of the garden, but like all gourmets, it tends to overdo things. It produces more leaves than necessary and shades its own grapes. The result? Sour berries that never fully ripen. That's why in September what's called leaf thinning is important. Remove the leaves around the grape clusters, but with moderation. Don't strip the whole plant bare. Instead, selectively thin the foliage where the fruit sits. That brings sunlight and air to the grapes. The grapes become sweeter, the flavor more intense, and fungal diseases have fewer chances. There's also a side effect. The canes ripen better, which is important so the vine survives winter unharmed. An unripe shoot can simply freeze back. Remember, this isn't about cosmetic pruning, it's about the quality of your harvest. And anyone who has ever tasted homemade grape juice or wine knows what a difference that makes. Lavender, last rescue. Lavender is a dream in midsummer, but if you miss the pruning in July, it often looks shaggy now and bare at the bottom. That's exactly why a final cut in September is still worthwhile. Remove the faded flower spikes and cut back about 1/3 of the fresh green growth. Important, do not cut into the old woody part. Lavender won't regrow from that. If you cut too deep, the plant may die. The result is a compact lavender plant that will sprout evenly again next year. And as a bonus, you might even get a small second bloom. And let's be honest, you're rewarded while pruning. The scent rising into your nose instantly puts you in a good mood. The cut flowers are far too good to throw away. You can dry them and use them for scented sachets, tea, or even lavender liqueur. So with one job, you get double the benefit. Privet, the lover of order. Privet is the overachiever among hedge plants. It grows diligently, it grows quickly, but it also overdoes it. If you don't shape it regularly, it turns your garden into a labyrinth. September is the last chance for a light shaping cut. No heavy pruning anymore, just trim what sticks out of line. Important, cut the hedge slightly narrower at the top than at the bottom. That way the base still gets light and the privet stays nice and dense. If you let it grow unchecked, it becomes bare at the bottom. Then you have a green wall on top, but bare stems below. And that doesn't look like a well-kept hedge, it looks like garden neglect. So run the shears through it once more cleanly, and then you can send your privet calmly into winter. Boxwood. Please be gentle. Boxwood is also a diva, but in a different way than roses. It's sensitive and doesn't tolerate drastic actions. In September, therefore, only light corrections are allowed. If you prune too heavily, it will sprout again, and those fresh shoots will freeze in winter. That weakens the entire shrub. A gentle trim, on the other hand, ensures it stays compact and goes evenly into winter. There's also a positive side effect. With a clean shape, snow rests better on the shrub. Without pruning, snow accumulates unevenly and branches can break. With a compact form, the weight distributes better. So you've built in protection against winter damage at the same time. Mock orange, rockstar on break. Mock orange is a superstar in summer. Its scent is unmistakable and fills entire gardens with aroma. But after flowering, it often looks a bit tired. Now in September, you can remove old shoots. That gives the shrub more air and allows young shoots to develop. And exactly those young shoots will bring you the clouds of blossoms next year that everyone remembers from Grandma's garden. If you just let mock orange grow unchecked, it becomes denser over the years, but also lazier when it comes to flowering. The energy ends up in old wood that no longer produces blossoms. With a bit of consistent pruning, you'll have a shrub every year that is healthy, airy, and full of fragrance. Lilac, already in pajamas. Lilac is almost in winter sleep by September. Its buds for next year have already formed. That's why the rule is, hands off major cuts. Any bigger intervention will cost you blossoms next spring. What you can do is remove spent flowers, cut wild shoots, and tidy things up a little. Nothing more. Everything else gets postponed to next year. That's important because a wrong cut at the wrong time has immediate consequences with lilac. And honestly, who wants to stand there in May without lilac blossoms? Spirea, round 2. Spirea shrubs are undemanding, but they reward pruning with fresh growth. After flowering, they often look a bit messy with long drooping shoots. Cut them back by about 10 to 20 centimeters now. That brings them back into shape and keeps them vigorous. With a bit of luck, they might even give you a small second bloom. If you let them grow unchecked, they become wider and wider over time, get bare inside, and lose their charm. A small cut in September saves you a lot of work later. Ornamental crabapples, a gentleman with style. The ornamental crabapple is an elegant shrub or tree that offers something all year round. In spring the blossoms, in summer the foliage, in autumn the fruits. In September you can give it a gentle shaping cut. Remove disturbing branches, shorten overly long shoots, but leave the small apples. They're not just decoration, they're also a valuable food source for birds. The pruning keeps the tree airy, helps it stay healthy through winter, and preserves its elegant form. And alongside all that, it remains the eye-catcher in your garden that it has always been. So, now you've got them all under control. The 11 woody plants you need to prune in September, otherwise spring won't deliver. Not a radical haircut, but a gentle fine trim, the beauty filter for your garden. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss anything. And please share the video with your family and friends. That way you help this knowledge reach even more people. And now it's your turn. Write in the comments, which shrub stresses you the most, and which one do you already feel like a total pro with? And while you're already in the flow, go watch my video, Perennials in September. 8 things you must do now. Until then, keep pruning, keep enjoying your garden. Thanks for watching, your Garten-Staudinger.